A 7-year-old boy vanished into the mountains. Years later, hunters finally found him. But instead of running toward the people who came to rescue him, he ran back to the wolves. Why? Because to him, they were family. This is the unbelievable true story of Marcos Rodríguez Pantoja. In the mountains of southern Spain, life was never easy. Marcos lost his mother when he was very young. Not long afterward, his father, struggling with poverty, left him in the care of an elderly goatherd who lived deep in the mountains. The plan sounded simple. Watch the goats, learn to survive, come home someday. But life had other plans. Not long after Marcos arrived, the old goatherd died. Just like that. A young boy was left completely alone. No family, no village, no one calling his name. Imagine being 7 years old and realizing you're the only human for miles. The first nights were terrifying. Every sound echoed through the darkness. Branches cracked, owls called. Unknown eyes seemed to watch from the trees. Marcos climbed onto rocks to sleep because he was afraid something might attack him. He cried. He shouted for help. But only the mountains answered. Days turned into weeks. Weeks became months. Hunger quickly became his greatest enemy. He searched for berries, wild roots, anything he could eat. Sometimes he caught small animals. Sometimes he didn't eat at all. Then something extraordinary happened. According to Marcos, a she-wolf approached him. At first, he froze. One wrong move could mean death. Instead, the wolf simply watched him, then walked away. Later, she returned, this time with food. Marcos believed the wolves slowly accepted his presence. Whether every detail happened exactly this way, only he could truly know. But one thing is certain. He survived alone in the wilderness for years. As time passed, the forest stopped feeling dangerous. It became home. Marcos learned where to find water, how to predict storms, which plants were safe, which caves stayed warm during winter. He even learned to imitate the sounds of birds, deer, and wolves. He no longer feared nature. He understood it. Meanwhile, human language slowly faded. If nobody speaks to you for years, words begin to disappear. Imagine forgetting conversations, because there was no one left to have them with. The wolves became part of his world, not pets, not magical protectors, simply wild animals whose lives crossed paths with his. He watched them hunt. He watched them care for their young. He learned that survival wasn't about being the strongest. It was about knowing when to fight and when to stay perfectly still. Although, sharing a mountain with wolves probably beats sharing a bedroom with your little brother. At least wolves don't steal your blanket. Probably. Years passed. Back in civilization, most people assumed Marcos had died. Until one day, hunters spotted something moving across the mountains. At first, they thought it was an animal. Then they looked closer. It was a boy, barefoot, long tangled hair, wearing animal skins, moving across rocky cliffs as if he belonged there. When they called to him, he didn't answer. Instead, he tried to run, not away from danger, away from people. Eventually, Marcos was brought back to civilization. Everyone thought his nightmare was finally over. But for Marcos, the real struggle had just begun. He no longer understood the rules of society. Money made no sense. Busy streets overwhelmed him. People laughed at the way he spoke. Some even took advantage of his innocence. After surviving the wild, the human world felt far more confusing. Marcos later said something that surprised many people. He missed the mountains. He missed the silence. He even missed the wolves. Not because life there was easy. It wasn't. It was cold, lonely, dangerous, but it was honest. Nature never pretended to be something it wasn't. Scientists call children like Marcos feral children, young people who spend long periods growing up with little or no human contact. Their stories help researchers understand how important language, family, and early social experiences are in shaping who we become. Today, Marcos Rodríguez Pantoja's story continues to inspire books, documentaries, and films. Some parts remain debated. Some memories belong only to him. But one truth stands above them all. A frightened little boy entered the mountains believing he had been abandoned. Years later, he returned to people. Yet the place that had once seemed the most dangerous had become the only place he truly felt at home. Sometimes, family isn't the place you're born. It's the place that teaches you how to survive.